is Brandon, and welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find the latest album reviews, you can find our band interviews, and you can find live footage of the concerts that we go to. One coming up is, ironically enough, Poeta. They're releasing their brand new album, which comes out March 31st. So, ironically enough, if you're watching this video, you're obviously, hopefully, if you live in the New Jersey area, coming out to this show. Definitely not one to miss out on. We'll definitely be there a little later, but we'll be there, and we're super stoked for that. But the other one that we got was Andres, and that is, ironically enough, another album review that we're going to be doing really soon as well. So stay tuned for those two, along with a few others that we're really excited about. But if you enjoy what we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to hit that like button as well. It really does mean a lot. And thank you guys for your support. I'm trying to think of things to do for 300 subs since we just passed it fairly recently. Might be doing like maybe an exclusive shirt that will only be going on sale for maybe, like 2 weeks or a week or something like that. So definitely let me know what you would be interested in the comment section below. Trying to think of ideas. I definitely want to try to do a giveaway if I can. That would be really cool, and just to thank you guys for your support. So without further ado, tonight we're going to be talking about Poeta's new record, Golden Fields. So, if you're a longtime fan of the channel, you know Poeta is no stranger to this channel, or just in general. They're very awesome guys, just in person. If you've met Poeta, you know they're awesome dudes. So definitely go check them out. They will be playing, like I said, their headliner for their new album that's coming out. They're also playing in Lancaster at Launch Conference. I believe they're playing on Saturday. I'll have to double check. But definitely come out to that. I'm going for the whole weekend, and I'm really pumped to check out A, all the bands, and B, learn a lot about the industry. So I'm really stoked for that, and just stoked to catch up with a lot of friends. So definitely going to be a good time overall, and it's really not too expensive, and I think it's going to be a good time. So if you do have some extra cash and you live near Lancaster, PA, definitely go check that out. But I actually got in contact with Poeta through my good friend Sierra. Shoutouts to you. Go check out her band with Sales Ahead. They are rad as well. But Poeta is being kind of getting some traction as of recently. They just signed with CI Records, which is awesome for them. Couldn't be more stoked. And they also just got back from Canada probably about a month or two ago. And they did a tour in Canada, which was awesome. But I was able to acquire their album a little bit earlier, so I'm kind of giving you, my guys, everybody who watches the channel, kind of an inside look into how the album sounds, what you can expect from it, and all that sort of goodness. So we'll get into the first track, which is the title track of the record, Golden Field. This was the first single that they released, and I believe the only, not only single, they have released another one, but definitely my favorite of the two, without a doubt. Instrumentally, super solid. Has this sort of ambientness to it, but also keeps to that true rock formula, which I really enjoy. I think this band and just all the members in the band kind of lend themselves to having that sort of ambience-ness to them, and just in each position respectively, I think they really do an awesome job. Kevin's vocal range is just really impressive to me, at least. Not only is he my friend, but I definitely consider him to be an awesome vocalist as well. He's really got great lows, mids, and he's got an incredible falsetto. I have to say, he hits some notes, like, without a doubt. It's kind of crazy how high he goes. But I also like Anthony kind of doing more of the lead sort of stuff parts with, like little inflections and things of that nature. I feel like it adds this sort of fullness to the track. I know a lot of bands kind of have that four-piece mentality, but I definitely feel like they do an awesome job of kind of incorporating everybody into the whole sound, and definitely a great way to open this album, without a doubt. I think, this is one of the best tracks off the record, without a doubt. I really think George's drumming is really awesome. I think that what makes it really good is that he definitely adds his own spin and own flavor to how he plays. But on top of that, he doesn't over embellish. He doesn't go crazy, and it doesn't seem overly done. I feel like it's very tasteful. It's very thoughtful, and I really enjoy that. As well as I like Sean on bass. I think he just adds this sort of fullness to it because while Kevin does the singing and he does a little rhythm guitar as well, I feel like it doesn't need a little bit of backing up. So it's cool that Sean's kind of holding it down in that respect and just adding this sort of solidity to the track without a doubt. So again, definitely one of my favorite tracks, and I think a great way to start the record. So we'll move it into the track number 2, which is Green and Blue. I know it says and, but it's supposed to be a plus, but formatting and stuff. But anyway, I really do like Anthony's leads. I think that, again, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know that I've been playing guitar for some time, and it's definitely something that I lean to and kind of go to when I'm listening to albums is a lot of the guitar work, whether it be rhythm, whether it be lead work, or both. Those are something that I gravitate towards. But I really do like his tastefulness. I think he really does an awesome job of kind of, adding nice layers and nice, I guess, feeling to the overall tracks. And Kevin does an awesome job of just holding it down in rhythm. I also feel like Kevin adds a lot of grit slash almost borderline screaming to his arsenal in terms of vocally. Definitely something different. I know that's something of as of a strong point in this record. He definitely has that range, and on top of that, he's got really great, like, I don't know, he's just got this really great tone to his voice, so I really enjoy that. I feel like this track in particular feels a lot like the story so far, but maybe a little bit more ambient, a little bit more, I guess, more in the rock direction. Probably like more like their self-titled record without a doubt, or their most recent record. I don't really know. I don't really listen to a ton of them, but I know it kind of has that sort of familiar sound to it, and I like the sort of breaks in the bridge. I feel like this is another super solid track, as per why they probably chose it for a single. But I really enjoyed this one as well. Probably not as much as the first single, Golden Fields, but I really did enjoy that one as well. So we'll move it into track number 3, which is Sweet. I'm really liking this solo guitar intro. You know how I feel about those sort of things. It just hits me in the soul, in the feelings. I really enjoy that. Um, Again, it has this sort of rock ambient kind of, uh, I don't know how to explain, alternative sort of feel to it. Very reminiscent of one of my favorite bands of all time, Seosin, with Cove. I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for that, but to me personally, that's where the soul kind of resides with Seosin for me. But enough about myself. But it definitely has those sort of Seosin vibes, to me at least. It also just has this sort of rock feel to it that I haven't heard from a lot of bands in a long time. So I really do enjoy that. I also have to say Kevin's got an amazing range. I know I've been saying it many times, but after you listen to a lot of these tracks, it just kind of blows your mind how good of a vocalist he is. Obviously, there is some stuff, that is fixed musically, but I've seen them live, and I have to say that he definitely holds his own and just hits those really high notes with a lot of ease. So really enjoy that. I'm also enjoying the harmonization in the bridge and also the different vocal patterns in the bridge. As if you listen to it, it's kind of like I think 4 different vocal tracks, 2 doing this like harmonization, and then the other 2 are doing a different part of the same track, but with different lyrics and stuff like that, but still having a harmonization as well. So I thought that was a really cool kind of antidote to pick out. That's something that I was like, wow, that's awesome, and something different and sort of out of the box, which I enjoy. And I'm also enjoying George's choice of fills in this track. I think, again, they're very tasteful. They aren't too outlandish. They're very, very good, and I think they kind of fit the mold of the song very well, which goes along a lot to do with song structure and just how it's arranged and things of that nature. I think they really did a great job of arranging this track. So we'll move it into track number 4, which is Blueprints. Another one of my favorite tracks. I like that George almost gets his own sort of quote unquote drum solo at the intro. I think that's really cool. And I also like just how, like, reverby and ambient and sounds at the beginning when he's doing that sort of like drum intro part. I think that's very awesome. I also like the sort of softer approaches in the verses, and then they kind of build up to the choruses. Again, I think that's an awesome sort of song structure thing that they do very well as well. So I really enjoyed that too. I also enjoyed the guitar solo, which I was kind of taken back by because I didn't think they would add solos, honestly. I felt like it was more of a ethereal sort of a thing, but I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was very tasteful, being a guitar player, like I've been mentioning. But really enjoyed the sort of like lead work. I definitely would like to see more lead work in the future, for future records. Definitely would be awesome to hear, just in terms of guitar solos and stuff like that. Also liking the harmonization of vocals. I like that Kevin kind of does that sort of like lower vocal and then kind of matches it with more of a higher vocal. In that regard, I think that's very awesome. And then I also enjoyed the fade into this sort of soft, outro. I think that was definitely a nice touch and something to point out. So we'll move it into track number 5, which is Movements, another one of my favorite tracks. I really do enjoy the sort of clean guitar intro paired with Kevin's vocals. I love when that sort of clean guitar intro with the vocals are paired together. I think that just is a tried and true combination. I also like the more melodic approach that they're choosing to go with in this track. I felt like the other ones were a little bit more rock based, and I like appreciate the more just different approach of this track. I think it's really awesome. Also, I feel like Sean's bass kind of adds like this soft sort of depth to the verses in this track. It's really awesome to see him kind of get his own little time as well. I love when bands kind of have their own moments in each track. I think that really does just aid with the whole song structure thing and really makes a strong track to me, in my opinion. Definitely one of my favorite choruses off this record is really catchy, poppy, which I really enjoy, considering that it's kind of more of a different take. I feel like this one is almost like pop rock a little bit in some sense, with maybe a little bit of alternative flair as well. Really enjoyed that. I feel like this track has a lot, like, some fullness to it as opposed to a lot of the other tracks off the record. This one just seems like it's very full and you can hear everything, and it's very awesome. Also, I like the added vocal layers. I feel like that also plays into the sort of fullness of this track as well. And I know I keep mentioning it, but Kevin's vocals on this track in particular was just incredible. It just made me think like, holy shit, this is awesome. So some of those high notes that he hits are just insane. I don't know how you do it, Kevin. If you're watching this, it's incredible. Definitely awesome stuff from you guys. I would have to say this one's probably my favorite off the record, without a doubt. Maybe Daytripper might be a close second, but definitely one of my favorite tracks off the record. Speaking about Daytripper, number 6, Daytripper featuring Matthew Schuler. I know Matthew's, I guess, a solo artist that they had on. He does a really good job. I would definitely say that this track in particular is more of the black sheep off the record. It just feels obviously the most different sonically because it's more acoustically based. It just seems a little bit more stripped down, which I enjoy. I think Matt was definitely a good guest choice. While I feel like his time on the song was a little bit short, I feel like he did a really good job. I would have liked to maybe see more like harmonization with the two of them. That would have been really awesome. But definitely enjoyed Matt's presence on this track. The chorus just hits like a freaking truck. Musically, it's just insane. I really enjoyed this track a lot. I also feel like this is a nice kind of acoustic track to kind of break up the rest of the album. I feel like I wouldn't say it was getting stagnant, but it's definitely a nice change of pace from the record, without a doubt. And this track definitely has some of my favorite riffs off the record, without a doubt. Just this acoustic arrangement was really solid. I think it's definitely one in my top 10 probably favorite acoustic arrangements of any track in general. It just felt very natural. It just had this sort of stripped down feel to it, but it was just executed so well. So I really enjoyed that one. So we'll move it into track number 7, which is Chroma. Again, another nice sort of break to the tracks. But I feel like this one, while a lot of bands added a lot of interludes to their tracks, I feel like this one was a bit unnecessary in my opinion. I felt like if you wanted to kind of break up the record, I felt like Daytripper did an excellent job of kind of changing the pace and stuff of that nature. But I'm not gonna hate on it. I think it's pretty good. And then at the end, you really don't hear any vocals until about the 2 minute mark on the track. And then it kind of bleeds into the next track, I would say, but not really. To me, it just felt like kind of almost fillerish. But again, I didn't make the record, but to me, that's how it felt. And then we're gonna move it into the last track, which is track number eight, Heaven. Really enjoyed the effect on the lead guitar. I think the lead guitar sounded really awesome in this record, without a doubt. I think the rhythm also was great too. But to me, I felt the lead work really stuck out on this whole album in general. Really sort of liking the tappy, leady sort of parts in the verse. I think that's really solid. Definitely reminding me of like Polyphia, um, and sort of like Chan and stuff of that nature. I also feel like the bass, Sean holding it down on the bass. I feel like he kind of adds this sort of in this fullness to the tracks. In general, especially in this one, it definitely feels like he is needed a little bit more, and I felt like he definitely felt filled the void on this one. Um, I really like this sort of breakdown part around the 2 minute mark. I think to me, it reminds me a lot of Polyphia's Inspire record. Definitely has that sort of same vibe. I even think it's in the same tuning, ironically enough. But definitely like that. And I think Kevin's vocals, again, probably the most solid thing on this record. It's really unique. He just has this unique tone to his voice. And you can definitely appreciate it in this track as well. And I just feel like Heaven was a great way to end this record. I think they really did an awesome job. So we're gonna move into the pros and cons. One big con, I feel like maybe Chroma wasn't necessary. I feel like they could have done with 7 tracks and it would have been fine. But outside of that, maybe a little bit of wouldn't say it's necessarily their fault, but definitely felt like a mix problem because some parts, especially like in, I would say, I think it was either Sweet or Green and Blue. I'm not entirely sure, but it's very like lead central in the right, yeah, in the right um headset, and then on the left it feels very rhythm guitarish. And I don't know if that's a problem with that, but to me that was a little bit rough in that regard. I felt like it would have been just mixed a little bit better in my opinion, but that's just kind of like a, I don't know, just not important to the track itself. But otherwise, pros, I feel like it's very different. I really couldn't pinpoint any bands that I would assimilate them with. And it's not just because I'm friends with them. I just feel like sonically they don't sound like too many bands that I hear often, and I really enjoy that. I think it's definitely a nice change of pace from a lot of the bands that I've been listening to recently. While they are good, I think that this one is definitely one for you to check out. So, my overall rating for Poeta's Golden Field, I'm going to be giving it a 9 out of 10. I definitely feel like you should go pre-order it. If you do have the extra cash to spare, that would be awesome, and I'm sure they would appreciate it immensely. If not, definitely come out to see them on their uh, tour. Sorry, I burped. Definitely go check them out on their headlining date at Game Changers World. If you live in Jersey, definitely come hit them up. It's going to be an awesome show with a lot of awesome local talent. So definitely go check that out. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on the singles are. What do you think about the rest of the record? Um, Obviously, the record's not out yet, but when the record does come out, I would certainly like to know your thoughts on it in the comments section below. Thank you, Poeta, and thank you, CI Records, for letting me review this album early. Hopefully, you go pick it up. It's definitely worth picking it up. If not for myself, but for the guys in Poeta. They definitely worked hard on this record, and I think it definitely shows without a doubt. So, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to hit that like button as well. It really does mean a lot. And thank you guys for your support. We're almost at 50K views, which is kind of mind blowing. And I honestly I just can't believe it. It's kind of cool. It's a really cool feeling. And, I can't thank you guys enough for your love and your support. It means a lot. And, if you enjoy us a lot, definitely go pick up something for our merch store. That would be greatly appreciated. You don't know how much it would mean to me if you pick something up. That would be awesome. We hope to have more new designs coming out real soon, so be on the lookout for that. So again, my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.